Hello, everyone, and welcome to our second lecture series on managerial accounting. And I'm your instructor, Jamal Haider. So let's begin. Today, we'll talk about chapter 2, which is managerial accounting in cost concepts. So our first learning objective is identify and give examples of each of the following 3 basic manufacturing cost categories. So let's talk about that. So classification of the cost based on manufacturing. So manufacturing cost is basically categorized into 3. Number 1, direct material, direct labor, and number 3 is manufacturing overhead. So we also call it as a product cost. So what is direct material? So direct material is the raw material that becomes an integral part of the product, and that can be conveniently traced directly. So we have a couple of characteristics here for direct material. Number 1, it is integral part. Number 2, it is very convenient, easy to trace. And number 3, you can apply directly, right? So for example, we have the product here, the car. So what can be the example of direct material? A radio installed in an automobile, right? It is an integral part. Yes. Easy to trace. Yes, we know that. What is the per unit cost of radio? We can directly apply that one. This nowadays it's a fiber, but in previous years we use some kind of like iron or maybe aluminum, some kind of like stuff, steel body, something. So this steel body, can we compare? Yes, for example, 50 kg or maybe 150 kg of steel needed to prepare one car, right? Its tires, they are direct material, right? We can easily trace out the cost of each one. They are integral part, yes. And can you describe any other direct material in this product?
What about
Can you repeat? Jordan, can you repeat? We cannot hear you.
I said what about Bluetooth, some feature or something? Bluetooth.
Okay. Yes, it can be. How about Alima? What do you think to any other cost?
I'm not sure.
Okay, Camila. Okay, Camila, your microphone is not working. Okay, Ayana.
And also could be like, how to say, GPS.
Very nice.
We say a petrol or oil. No.
No.
Okay.
We are making this product, which is a car, right?
But
we are not running the car.
You mean that something integrated out of car, but integrated on the car?
Integrated to make this car, integral part.
Yeah.
So what about these windshields?
Yeah, windshield also.
Right? These windshields. Right? What about the gear system?
Tire.
Very nice tires as well. The gear system. Headlights or backlights, right?
Yes.
Seats. Right? So
Correct.
all those are called raw materials to make this automobile, right? So which are the integral part, which can easy to trace, right? And we can directly, apply that cost. We can calculate directly, and we can directly apply to this car. For example, without radio, the car would be $1 million, and with radio, the car would be $1,100,000, right? You can see that the $100 worth of radio is installed here. You can easily find out. Or without tires, the car would be $700,000. With tires, 4 tires, grade 1 tires, tubeless tire, the car would be $1 million. Very easy to, you can easily trace out this, and you can directly apply to the material, to the cost. So manufacturing cost has 3 parts. Number 1, 3 categories. Number 1, direct materials, and then direct labor. So what is the definition of direct labor? So those labor costs that can easily trace to an individual unit of product. So we have the characteristics. Again, easily traced, right? And you can directly apply. For example here, wages. So we are talking about direct labor. Material, we already talked about that, tires, headlights, seats, windshield, right? The material of like steel, something, right? But the labor is that how much a person has worked on the car. Can you find out easily? On assembly line, you can find out that, cars are coming on a belt, and one person is just installing tires, or the other belt installing windshield, the other belt they are installing gear system, right? You can easily find out how much hours the worker of the, for example, tire installing belt, how the worker is working on. For example, a worker changes, or the worker installed tires, for example, in 30 minutes, right? Per hour, you gave to the workers $20. You can say that on this car, the tire installation, $10, right? A person spent 1 hour for paint. So 1 hour paint job, you can easily trace out, right? A normal worker, 8 hours, it works in a factory. So how many cars it can paint? 8 cars, because 1 hour, it takes 1 hour to paint 1 car, and 1 hour rate is $20, right? The person who changes the car, the tires, it takes 30 minutes, so that cost would be $10. So 20 plus 10. Worker takes 2 hours to install its electric system. 2 hours, which means $40, right? 30 minutes to install its windshields, again, $10. You can easily trace, and you can directly apply to that cost as a direct labor, right? Any other? You can find out different kind of example. For example, in software making, so you spend 8 hours, a software engineer spend 8 hours on this software, programming code. So his per hour salary is, for example, $40. So 40 into 8, $320, right? So you can easily find out the direct labor. Understand? What about the manufacturing overhead? So it includes both indirect material and indirect labor. So which means manufacturing overhead is that cost, is the part of manufacturing cost that cannot be easily traced directly to a specific unit produced. So it contains both indirect labor and indirect material. The example include material that supports the production process, for example, lubricants. So can we easily find how much lubricants are used on one car? It can be very difficult. How about the electricity? We pay for the electricity. Can we easily find out that how much electricity is going to be used on one car? Because that electricity is also be used by processing department, managerial department, and others as well, right? Plus, for example, the heating and cooling arrangements. You are, in summers, you install the central AC. Whether you are running production, whether you are not running production, you still have to turn on your AC. Okay, sorry. You still have to turn on the AC. So it's very hard to find out how much cost that electricity